Welcome to video 4 of your webinar blueprint. I'm your webinar blueprint guide, Jeff Winberg. In the last video, we looked at the gear that you'd need to have in place to host a great webinar. In this video, we're going to talk about selling the right way on a webinar. So let's get into it. I first want to say, if you're not a fan of sales, if you get at all uncomfortable when you have to sell your products and services, then this lesson will help you tremendously. If you love and enjoy sales, then we might just kick it up a notch. One of the most common uses of a webinar is to sell products and services. In the first video in the series, we went over the numbers, and an average webinar typically converts better than standard sales pages. But if you want the best results, you've got to do it the right way. And we're going to review some principles and strategies to make sure you're successfully using webinars to sell your products and doing so in an ethical way that allows your audience members to make the personal decision to buy. And that makes everyone a winner. Okay, here we go. Number 1, transparency. Transparency is the fastest way to earning trust with your audience. Set expectations at the beginning of your webinar and then meet those expectations. Here's an example. At the start of your webinar, simply tell your audience what's going to happen. Give them an outline, and if it includes a tour of your product, tell them that at the start. If you'll be making an offer, even tell them that. This is as easy as saying, and if you're interested, I'll be making an offer for anyone who wants to pick up our product. Be transparent. They'll respect you for it. Number 2, show, don't sell. Just show them what they're going to buy. Imagine you're going to give it to them for free and you're just showing them what your program offers so they know how to dig into it when they get their hands on it. A personal tour, so to speak. Number 3, give them a compelling reason to buy. Offer them something special for being on the webinar and taking action. They can probably buy from you anytime, but include a special or a special price if they buy during the webinar. Reward those that take action. Otherwise, why do they need it now? Number 4, be proud of what you've created and are offering. Be honest. It's okay to say, I'm proud of this and I'm excited to share it with you. This is a good way to honestly be confident. No one wants to buy a product or service from someone that doesn't inspire confidence. Number 5, follow up. The webinar is just the beginning. A portion of sales will be made live, but 30% of sales are usually lost by not following up with the audience. There are a number of reasons why people don't buy live. Maybe they wanted to think about it. Maybe they had to go before they heard your offer. Maybe someone registered but wasn't able to attend the actual webinar. Whatever the reason, sometimes you just need a reminder. If they're interested, they'll appreciate it. If they're not, they won't mind the reminder either. To remind them, you can simply send them a webinar replay email. And Webinar Ninja sends one to all of your registrants automatically. But also, send them your offer again via email. Include it in the webinar replay email or do it separately. It doesn't have to be aggressive. Just state that they have an opportunity to get your offer by a certain time, give them a link to buy, and close off with telling them that they can reply to you if they have any questions. It's simple, right? Now, let's look at a couple selling strategies you can implement. Option 1, a single webinar outlined in advance. With this option, you'll be 100% transparent and give them an outline of what you'll be covering. For example, you could say, we'll spend at least 30 minutes on the workshop, and then we'll spend 10 minutes giving you a product tour, and we'll talk about a special offer if you decide you want to get the product. You can answer questions about the product then. Everything is honest and laid out, and this is the most common way people do it. Option 2 is 2 webinars, one of pure content and one all about your product offering. With this option, again, you'll be 100% transparent about what's happening. At the start of the webinar, tell them this whole webinar is all about the content and the learning. Tell them you have a product called X, but you won't be discussing that on today's webinar. You have a special webinar dedicated to that and the special offer you have for them tomorrow. Tell them they'll automatically be enrolled in that webinar, and if they have any questions about the program, to hold them for tomorrow's webinar. This allows your audience to relax and enjoy the content, and those who want to buy will show up for tomorrow's webinar ready to learn about your product. You'll be able to sell your product without feeling uncomfortable in the webinar because that's why they're coming for it. That's the expectation. This is the more non-conventional approach. Now, one more note on selling. It just takes practice. Just like the webinars themselves, the more you do, the better you'll get at it. Just get started and keep doing it. So let's recap on what you need to do right now. Number 1, you need to decide if your product offer will be in 1 webinar or 2. And then number 2, you need to practice your product demo you'll use to sell your product. In the next video, I'll share with you how to market your webinar so people register and show up. See you in the next lesson. Take care.